Come on and get your log. Everyone needs a log. Come on and get your log. Everyone needs a log. Log from Blammo.
Uh-oh. Well, somebody did mention log. What the heck does this have to do with anything? Well, you all know what that means. We conjecture
Although
ahead.
this is going to be weird, and it's going to be about a different.
Title of the conference was something like "Ground Truth" or "Turtles All the Way Down," and so it seems as though there's one Ruliad. I don't think it rules them all, and it might be just hyper-rulial turtles all the way down.
Yes, it's on the back of an infinite number of hyperrulial turtles.
Various people are commenting on the outrage of hacking the universe on a MacBook Air.
Hey guys, what's going on? Memes here. Full disclosure. This is a MacBook Pro, not the most recent, last year's model. But what the heck are we talking about today? Well, this was something I noticed like a week or so ago, just because you're taking a look at certain things, or at least the monastery. One of the claims is if we use a coherent set of units, time, space, charge, mass, and temperature, we let our dimensional ingredients combine, we get the tasty universe in which we live in, or our realm of persistence. But, all right, so what are we talking about here? Let us embiggen the thing so we can take a look at the thing. All right. So what are we talking about here? All right. Links, of course, are in the doobly-doo below. In information theory, the entropy of a random variable is the average level of information or surprise or uncertainty inherent to the variable's possible outcomes, given a discrete random variable big X, which takes values in the alphabet of crazy X, which is I don't know this notation here, but basically it gives you this, and you take basically the logarithm of the different stuff doing the things there. All right, that's basically what I got from that. Oh, hey, Fractal, what's going on? Oh, well, I've heard that too, and that's a very interesting thing. We may be getting a wee bit hot. All right, so what am I talking about again? If your information in any of the information, content, theory, actual entropy itself, I believe that's the thing. Real quick, funny little thing about information. Apparently, at least according to what I've heard on the internet from some people, one of the things with Shannon entropy is like, well, this apparently seems to follow the equations of basically something else known as entropy, and nobody really understands what entropy is, so just call it entropy. And I think that's how we got Shannon entropy. Correct me on that. I know someone out there knows the truth because it's out there, I claim. So what are we actually going to look at? All right, let's look at our friend Wolfram Alpha. Let me reposition myself here because this will be important. But all right, so I got to asking, because a lot of things in Wolfram Alpha will say like at approximately 300 degrees Kelvin, basically room temperature as we know it, more or less. Okay, so I'm like, what would basically the energy equivalent of one bit of information be? And I was looking around, and again, maybe this is wrong, but apparently when you put in, what is it, 9.57 times 10 to the negative 24 joules per Kelvin. I guess that's a function of the number of kelvins. And if we assume 1, we get the entropy equivalent of 1 bit of information. All right. Joules over Kelvin, or JK. Oh, I see what you did there. But, all right. So I'm like, okay, we have a unit of 1. Do we have something we can multiply by? Well, it says per Kelvin. What's a whole lot of kelvins? How about the Planck temperature? It's around 10 to the 32 Kelvin. All right. So we put in our unit there. The 1 entropy bit of information times the Planck temperature. What does that give us? Oh my God. It gives us 1.35 gigajoules. I don't think that's enough to get the flux capacitor running, but we can only hope. Speculation on my part there. All right. Well, when I did this, I noticed it gives some equivalence because it's Wolfram Alpha, because it CAD, comparisons of energy. This was an interesting one. Approximately 0.69, a little over 2/3, the Planck energy. That's about 1.9561 gigawatts. Huh. So I got to thinking. You got to be careful when you're doing thinking on the internet. You might find an answer. Might not be what you want. Maybe it's crazier than what you were expecting. You never know unless you try. Sometimes it just comes to you. But I was thinking, what would be required? What X, so to speak, would be required in order to give us that? So I set an equivalent to the answer. That's something I learned from Pat. Thank you. All right. So we took our answer here. What X possibly would give us the number we're looking for? That one Planck energy. So I scrolled down here. And it gave me an answer. So I looked at that answer. Might there be a potential closed form that would help us lead to where we were looking to go? And if it actually happened to have some, I don't know, be able to help us tell a story, that would also be cool. Oh. 1 over the log of 2? Or this, which is essentially, yeah, is the natural logarithm of 2, so you have it in 2 forms there, because it's the same thing. Huh. But we have to check it out. So we plug it in. What happens when we plug it in? Okay, we got essentially the energy equivalent, the entropy of 1 bit of information. We multiply that by the Planck temperature, and then we divide it by the log of 2. Gives us this number. Oh. What is this number? Oh, looks like it's approximately the Planck energy. Okay, we're using Wolfram alpha, so there might be some rounding involved. 1.9561. 1.9561 times 10 to the 9 joules. A little under 2 gigajoules. I mean, I just thought that was interesting. It just seemed like a very interesting thing. Hey, Titan, what's going on, my dude? Thank you for joining. We're just going over the information, or at least, to be fair, entropy equivalence of 1 bit of information when you multiply it by the Planck temperature. And if you divide it by log 2, coincidentally, I mean, you get the Planck energy. I mean, again, that's going to be 1 bit of information. I mean, that would make sense if that just lines up. I just never seen it in that form before. So that's a pretty cool thing. Oh, yeah. I also put the link here. So then I got to thinking, I'm like, well, what happens if I do something kind of crazy? What if I throw a circle in there? So I multiplied it by 2 pi. So it comes out, and I'm not sure if I was expecting this or not. I actually have this mislabeled because it's actually a little crazier. I think I labeled this as the Planck mass. This is not the Planck mass. The Planck mass is approximately 217. I just noticed it happened to the relativistic mass came out to be 137 micrograms. I don't know why that's there. I could speculate, but I'm going to need to look a little further deeper and do deeper calculations before I can give an actual answer or more coherent claim about what the heck I'm looking at. I know certain folks will disagree with that Titan. Some folks will say the data is lost. What are we talking about lost? What is data? And then we kind of get back into the Socratic thing. So I'm just taking at least what Wolfram Alpha has on its database, and that was the first time I saw that. I'm just like, oh, that happens to do with probability and all that jazz. And apparently Claude Shannon did he have that even grade on his tombstone? I think it was some different mathematicians and physicists where they have cool stuff. You know? Who doesn't like cool stuff? I know I do. But see, that's the thing. I've been delving into a lot. One of the newer gentlemen at the monastery here, he's really big into information and just the spurts of knowledge. I'm like, it makes a lot of sense. I am also biased because, well, I mean, if something's lining up with what your preconceived notion is, it's should be wary. I think we perhaps need like a little bit of personalized inertia here. Otherwise, we might go off a metaphorical cliff. I'm not saying that hasn't happened. I'm also not saying that I have seen Wile E. Coyote delay the potential fall after going off a proverbial cliff. I think we should try to avoid the cliffs. Just my notion as a dude on the internet, but that's all I got for right now. Peace out, everybody. Take care of yourselves. It's a wacky and wild world out there, but the best is yet to come, I claim. Peace out, everybody.